You ready?
I'm not ready at all. But.
All right, here we go. What's up, players? Today we've got Shae Paterson on the podcast. Welcome, Shae Paterson, to Sounds Like Mike. Shae Paterson is a corporate videographer. He's a Blackmagic pocket cinema camera user. He's a YouTuber. He's a travel vlogger, a self-proclaimed creative icon. His biggest inspirations are Peter McKinnon, Gary Vee, Daniel Schiffer, and he's worked with iconic brands such as NordVPN, Polar Pro, and Dollar Shave Club. Everyone, Shae Paterson, everybody.
Oh my God.
Give it up for the Shae stir, the Paterson stir. Anyway.
That was fun.
Welcome,
I'm sure you had a lot of fun planning that.
I did. I made a whole list and everything, so I didn't miss a single thing.
That's pretty impressive. I knew there would be some stupid bit at the beginning, but I was not expecting that. That was I love Polar Pro. Can I take a moment to talk about Polar Pro? Actually, I'm paid by them to promote their meaningless product.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, and Dollar Shave Club
and Dollar Shave Club
and NordVPN.
Yeah.
So that none of that stuff is true about Shae. Obviously, Shae is a cinematographer. He's a very experienced gaffer, but he's also the founder of the Flounder. He flounders a little bit, but he is the founder of Terrible Blackmagic Rigs Facebook page.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
which is getting some heat today.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. We can maybe pull that up. But today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reviewing and ranking Terrible Blackmagic Rigs. So I've built up a collection of horrible Blackmagic rigs for us to look at and make fun of.
I'm so enthused.
And rank them. So here we've got our tier list up on the screen. S is like God tier, and then F is like shit tier. And the criteria for this is it's all up for interpretation.
Copy that.
So this is basically just like however we see fit. I think, in my opinion, S tier should represent just the quintessential bad Blackmagic pocket cinema camera rigs, and we can see sort of.
So it's kind of an inverse scale. It's like
like F is probably the most functional rig,
and
then S is like the absolute
just the most terrible design.
The king of
garb. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit before we get started, or do you want to just jump into it, or do you want to let people continue to think that you're a YouTuber and
no, I don't care really. I think it's fine.
You are a self-proclaimed creative icon, though. I've heard you say that many times.
Have I really?
No.
I hate creativity. I think creativity is stupid.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever someone says I'm a creator, I'm like,
creativity.
You're just a sack of garbage.
Yeah. Don't be creative.
No.
Creative sucks.
No. Just do what you're told.
Do what you're told. Yeah. Yes.
So we got I got a shit ton of Blackmagic rigs here. Some that you've seen, some that you haven't seen. I've picked some from. I just went way deep into the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera user group on Facebook, which is what kind of started this whole thing.
It's true,
right? So what is about Blackmagic rigs? Why are we making fun of them? What's the whole thing about Blackmagic rigs?
I think it's the user base is just kind of funny, like by nature. So it's very easy to make fun of them. And that's the thing is like, I don't want to target all Blackmagic users because Blackmagic cameras are actually very good, you know.
Even the Pocket 4K
even
and
the
6K.
Pocket 4K and 6K are actually, you can shoot some incredible stuff, and I see incredible stuff all the time. So it's not it's not targeting the entire user base.
Right.
But I think because of its price range and because
it shoots raw at that price range.
Because it shoots raw at that price range, it kind of hits.
It's called a cinema camera.
And it's called a cinema camera. It kind of hits this range of people that are either learning or don't just don't have any actual big set skill, but they're starting to try to shoot stuff better.
Right.
Which
you're disrupting again.
It's ridiculous. But you're starting, to hit that range of people that don't want to learn, but are doing bad things.
Right. Anyway, you'll get it. We'll get into it.
There's a lot of mediocre rigs, and the camera itself just
it looks very ugly.
It's a fugly camera. It's a fugly camera, and it itself incentivizes bad rigs.
It's not very easy to rig.
Yes, to make a good rig, you have to be, you have to have some experience rigging things. You have to be a good AC. You got to understand how to rig things to make it work well. Because I think it just by nature, it promotes terrible rigs, and then you've got an inexperienced user base using it. It's just good. There's so many bad rigs out there.
Right. Well, let's just jump into it. I think we got a good baseline for what a terrible Blackmagic rig is, and just so we're not coming out and making fun of people without being able to take it, and just as sort of a show of good faith, we're also going to rank this rig, which is my
Oof.
this is my rig. This is probably the worst rig I've ever created.
That's pretty legendary.
Kitty, okay, the cat's in heat and she just wants to have sex with Shae. Whenever Shae comes over, she just gets all horny for Shae. Kitty baby, go. You can have sex with him after the podcast.
Later, my sweet
kitty baby. She wants to shit on Blackmagic rigs too.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this rig. So let's set a benchmark. This is going to be our benchmark for the shitty rigs.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad rig.
There's plenty that are shittier than this in this list, but there's plenty that are better.
It's a good middle of the road shit rig.
Let me give you a little bit of an explanation to why this rig looks so shitty. I needed a stationary camera. And then I also needed this because I needed to record indefinitely. Couldn't record indefinitely internally, so I had this, which is a recorder.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember why I had this. Maybe it was a time lapse. I don't know.
That would make sense.
Yeah, and then I taped it to this clamp, and I took that clamp and I clamped it to the tripod handle.
Because you didn't have another stand or tripod.
Stand. I don't know where I have stuff. I don't know why I didn't put it on
I think maybe
stand.
It was
I think I was renting it to somebody. I think I was renting something.
Maybe rationally it was also like we should, because I think this was at a party. Maybe it was just like I want to get things on one stand.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So there's not all these.
Yeah. Well, see, we can justify our rigs, but these people can't justify theirs. We can sit here and
I'm being assaulted in the butt by your cat.
Kitty. We're just gonna have to ignore her sexual harassment.
I felt a little tickle on my butt, and I was like, What's going on here? And I'm currently being...
You can just push her away. I'm sorry, Kitty.
But I'm also scared of your cat, because your cat
when she's horny,
not only sexually
harmless.
harassed me, she physically harassed me last time.
This is true.
Yeah.
But when she's horny, she's harmless. Generally. She just meows and stuff. All right, anyway, so where do we put this rig? On the tier. I think we should put it at C, just because that seems like a good a good benchmark.
And I mean, you have a context for the rest of the rigs too, so I'm going to trust your opinion on that. I think C or B.
I feel like this is C because I know it worked.
Yes.
Oh, also,
there was
you didn't give me the plate. That's why this looks like this. There's a head on it, a little head.
I just peeked the audio there. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that would make sense. There's a lot of my equipment in that being used.
Poorly. All right, so this is the benchmark rig, and this goes. We're gonna throw this at a C tier. Isn't that exciting?
Great. Oh man,
the first rig on the thing. Okay. All right, let's jump into it. This is our first rig.
Oof.
Have you ever seen this rig?
That is no. That's a new one.
So many of these. I'm sure now we have a great backlog of content for the Facebook page.
Yeah, totally.
Basically.
That's a gnarly one.
So from what I remember, this is for what is it? A DJI Phantom?
Probably a Phantom.
It's 4. A Phantom battery, and somehow they got the correct adapters and like 100 feet of cable to power the camera.
I like there's some masking tape and some e-tape. That's a double whammy.
Where's the e-tape? Oh, it's right there. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, that's incredible.
E-tape's useful for very specific things, but you should not put it on a piece of camera equipment.
Right. Where do you put this, Shae? I feel like this is sort of like I mean, it looks super janky, but it's somewhat functional.
It is somewhat functional. There's some points for some ingenuity there.
Totally, using what you got.
Can we just talk about how there's a camera? I'm not going to move out of the mic. There's a camera plate on the top.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God! I didn't even realize what this is. So this, that's a plate, and that's the quick release. He's got a whole quick release system on here, acting as a cheese plate
for the top, which actually makes maybe more sense because he might be putting it in his backpack, putting it in their backpack.
Yeah, I guess
it might be to pop the whole thing off, unplug it.
This is not a bad rig.
This is a pretty good rig.
Of shitty rigs, it's not the shittiest.
So I think it
looks very shitty though.
The thought putting through it is decent because it's lightweight. I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of excess. It feels like a victim of circumstance.
In what way?
In that I don't have the money right now, or I don't have the tools to do it properly.
A lot of these are that, but this actually is relatively functional.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like a lot of them are people buying arbitrary things with the money when they should be spending their money elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like this one feels like this guy didn't have any resources, and he actually made it bad. It's bad. It's really bad. But it feels like it's lightweight. It feels like you could shoot with it. You got a monitor.
So this goes. Should we put it all the way down to F tier? This is pretty functional.
It's functional, but it's
and
still
it's also minimal.
Shitty. I think it's maybe an E.
All right.
Maybe it's an E.
I think I feel an E as well.
Again, it's like not.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst. I would.
I want to rotate it. It looks cooler that way.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I dig that.
I agree with everything you say. Cool. I honestly didn't take that much thought into it. I was ready to shit on that one the most. Well, not the most. There's this one. A lot of these are just poor cable management.
Yeah, that's true.
But
there's a couple things I see with this one.
Okay, here's what I noticed immediately is they got the wireless attached to the monitor here rather than the thing with the camera. The thing rather than the thing here, which I mean is fine.
But it's not really good etiquette. You should run wireless first and then.
Yeah, I agree. And then they got the battery here that doesn't charge. It doesn't power this for whatever reason. This has its own battery. Also, they've got a monitor here, but they also have a Z bracket here. So, like, imagine you're holding it.
Yeah,
the camera's in front of your face.
Yeah,
and the monitor is to the left of you.
Yeah.
And
that sounds like a way to ruin your neck.
Yeah.
And it's also a Blackmagic monitor with a cage.
And it's also
which is very heavy. Those monitors are already heavy, but then you throw that metal cage on it, it's too much. There's a lot of things. So like the cable management is atrocious. I agree with your like it's offset.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you have that giant battery, you should be powering everything with that battery.
No, I agree. What's the point of having the battery?
What's the point of having the battery if you're not powering everything with the battery?
Right.
And then also the wireless would have been better placed, I think, just on to the right of the camera.
Completely.
Away from the operator. And then also just cable management is atrocious.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I think I see with a lot of Blackmagic cameras. The rigs are maybe like bad, but they're not terrible. It's the cable management. And
cable management
if you've
is
ever
really
worked
the crux
on
of any Blackmagic rig.
If you ever used a camera like that, you know that it's bad. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like your cables are catching on things. You're catching on your shirt. They're catching on this. You
also,
pull them. You're gonna damage the connections.
Yeah,
you got all
especially with the HDMI's everywhere. The HDMI, they got USB, or do they have USB?
Yeah, USB.
I think USB-C, and they got this boy. And then it's also completely front heavy.
That's another thing too. Is it's not only a neck.
I feel like this
killer.
is an F tier.
This is totally an F tier.
Or no, wait, no. This is we go up as it gets shittier.
Oh, that's right. So it's an S tier. Sorry, yeah.
Actually, maybe not S tier. I don't think this is God tier of shitty. I feel like we've both seen shittier ones on the Blackmagic pocket rig.
It's true, but I think what irritates me about this one is they obviously have the resources,
right?
And that's what I think is like we need to identify that we're not just making fun of poor people here. You know what
right?
You know what I mean? Like
they put money into this, they just put it into it wrong in the wrong places.
And that's the thing is like that other rig was the first one we looked at was like. It was objectively shittier from a financial perspective. Like there was less money put into it,
right?
But they did a better job with the money that they put into it. And I think that's what this one irritates me is they've got all these good pieces of equipment, just so poorly executed that it's like it's just trash. Like it's why would you want that?
Completely. Hey, make sure you're talking. The microphone's pointing at your mouth.
I've been trying to.
You can scooch it to the side as long as it's like pointing.
Yeah, at you. I like looking where I'm going to put it like this.
Just adjust it somewhere that's comfortable.
Yeah. Is this...
Now the mic's right in front of your face. Here,
I'll go to this side.
Let's put on some music while we correct this. What kind of music should we listen to? This one.
Ooh. Yay, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There, that's a little better. All right. That looks better.
That's good. Okay.
Now we can actually see your face. All right.
Cool.
So I feel like this is probably a B tier. It's still functional. Like it would still work. You could technically shoot with it. It would just suck to shoot with.
It would suck. I'd say it's an A tier.
You really think it's that bad?
I mean, I don't have a frame of reference, but like just everything I see disgusts me, and I don't. Just because like it's obvious that they have the resources to get things done.
A tier. I don't know. This to me is of the similar level of this one, honestly, because it looks atrocious, but it still does the thing at a bare minimum.
That's true, but like the cables and everything, it's just I don't have a frame of reference of
All right.
everything that's been in here. So
I think it's C tier. You think it's A tier. I think we compromise and call it B tier.
Let's do B tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a B tier. 100%.
I'm gonna be
all right.
pretty harsh. Ooh,
Here's
baby.
this one. This one's classic. This one's not that hard to love or hate, really. I'm doing the wrong things. When was the last time I used Photoshop? Today actually to make
Today.
this. All right, so we got here the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. We got a Rokinon, looks like an 80 or 135.
Yeah.
Oh, it is it is 85 right there.
I think it's 85. Yeah.
It says 85.
Ooh.
And then we got some cheap
Bulk
stuff.
Focus, yeah.
Cheap this one's pretty easy. I feel like this one's just this one's got to be like a D tier.
I think it's a D tier. Yeah. The biggest thing that irritates me with this is the tripod's not balanced.
Yeah, no, it's completely front heavy, and then also these matte boxes are 100% useless for anything.
And pointless, yeah. So it's like get rid of the matte box, have the focus wheel on there. That's fine. You want to, yeah. I mean,
you relocate the focus, sure.
Yeah, it's
fine. Easier for some.
That's
rigs.
a reasonable thing. I do like the double quick release plate.
I didn't even notice that either. I just grabbed these. Well, what is that going on here? You
so
got the one there.
It's kind of funny, but I mean, it maybe makes sense because again, they're probably like packing this into a backpack or something like that.
Yeah, but I guess
because then they
just.
I bet you their tripod doesn't have like it's probably like one a year old like that tripod where it doesn't have a quick release. It looks like a shitty tripod.
No, I'm pretty sure this one has a quick release.
Maybe it does.
These ones.
Maybe that's.
I think
silly,
it's probably so they can slap it on here, and then they're like, "Oh, we need a beefy for the client," and then they just like.
Yeah, that's
kind
of
out
silly.
Of his trench coat and slaps it.
Another thing is just try like because we mentioned that it's way too front heavy.
Right.
That's like dangerous for one because your tripod.
You let go of the thing and
the tripod is probably not rated at all for what. Yeah, let's see more of the tripod. Ooh,
a little more of the tripod.
Yeah, I mean that's
an e-imaging.
It's an e-image one.
Oh, it's got the double handles too.
I remember using those.
And it's in a church. I was gonna say this seems like a rig that you would shoot on if you like are a church videographer.
Yeah, or doing wedding videos or something. But I think like, I mean, this is probably at the range of
this one,
the tripod. No,
oh.
just the camera rig. But I think it's such a across all Blackmagic rigs. It's something that I see that's cheaped out on all the time is the tripod.
Right.
And this tripod is probably fine for what they're doing. But at least balance it right so it's safe. Because that's a huge thing. Is that so front heavy? If you forget to like lock it all the way, it's gonna go kapow, and then the tripod's gonna fall over, and your Blackmagic rig is no more.
Your Blackmagic rig becomes a not a dead rig. I vote D tier. D tier?
Yeah, it's D tier. Yeah.
All right, D tier. Because it's sort of like it's got a lot of stupid stuff on it, but it's technically still like pretty usable.
It's pretty usable.
What do we got? This one.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, whoops. This one is another one of those classics in my opinion.
This is
it's just like you just throw everything on it. One thing that always bothers me, the thing that I always notice about these Blackmagic rigs is these poor HDMI cables, and there's always posts on the Blackmagic pages that are like, "Oh, my cable, my input broke. How do I get it fixed? Where do I get it fixed?" And then you see shit like this. It's just like reefing on the HDMI cable.
And then this giant bundle and thick HDMI cables. That's what bugs me the most is you can on Amazon for $20.
Take a look at this.
For $20, you can get a super thin HDMI cable.
Yeah.
That's like as thin as like one of those super thin BNC cables.
Yeah.
And for $20. And it's just so flexible and it's a full-size connection and it's
true.
It's why do this? Why zip tie a beefy stiff cable?
Oh, I didn't even notice the zip tie too. The zip ties are the worst. Just get some Velcro ties. You can take it off then. They zip tie.
Yeah.
They got two monitor arms here. Why do they have two external recorders and an SSD for recording?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, and I think
they got a lot going on.
I bet you what happened is the second monitor's probably for
one's for monitoring and then one's for recording. What the fuck is this for?
I don't even know. Maybe that one's just being used because there's no SSD in that.
You mean the big white boy here, the Shogun?
Yeah, the big Shogun's probably being used as the operator monitor. And then because they don't have a wireless fizz on it, I bet you the
They got a
second
follow
monitor
focus.
is for their first
But then they
AC.
got their first AC on the same side as their operator for whatever reason.
In theory, but I think that they're operating like a wild boy and going on the other side, because that
I don't see how you could get this arm to the other side.
I think there's.
Oh, you're operating. I see what you're saying.
They're
Oh, they
probably-
got another battery back there. Look at that.
There you go. Oh man,
They've got this thing
and
has
they
a battery.
look.
This has a battery.
They have one thin cable. That's the power cable connecting to the battery. So they got one nice little thin cable there.
There you go.
But yeah, and then the whole SSD, it's just like janky, and I don't like it. It's pretty rough. I don't
know how you could do anything with this other than shoot it on a tripod, and the thing would be flying around all over the place. I feel like this is probably a B or an A tier, honestly.
Some points for the tripod though. They got a beefy tripod under there.
Oh yeah, that's my tripod. That's the 504.
Yeah,
head.
So points for that, and it looks balanced.
Yeah, it looks pretty balanced. I still think it's like
some
in terms of
negative points
ergonomics,
for
how
the
you gonna
poor
pick that up
C-SAN
and move it? You're basically dedicated to tripod land, which
totally.
is like probably what they're doing. But
yeah, but I mean, it's not a great rig. It's
maybe C tier.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy C tier.
It's sort of around the same. It's like
there's some things that are pretty bad about it, but I mean, you could shoot a movie with it. It'd be fine. I mean, that looked like our rig.
I mean, you could shoot a movie with basically anything.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
I mean,
the criteria.
That looks vaguely like our national rig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have put rig photos of that. I don't even know if we have photos
I don't know
of
if
that
we do. I got some somewhere, I'm sure. Ooh, baby.
This one's pretty good.
Ooh, I like what I'm seeing.
So we've got this handle.
I think it's a photography handle.
But
it's zip tied in.
It's zip tied to this. This is just like a random piece of metal it looks like. Yeah. And it's zip tied to that.
And then there's zip ties over there too.
And we got zip ties here where I think it's zip tying it to the actual camera, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe to the hot shoe. What's that knob up there? Maybe that's
that's probably attaching it to the camera.
Somehow, yeah.
And then
hot shoe and
we've got a sick custom
made out of plastic. I think that's made out of like a Chapman's ice cream container.
Oh my god, you were so right.
Yeah.
Man, you're opening my eyes. I just like grabbed him. I was like, that looks shitty, and I just put it in the folder.
Oh man, and then what's holding the SSD?
It looks like a phone clamp, like one that you get on Amazon.
And then it's bolted onto this piece of metal.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
pretty shitty.
Yeah, that is rough.
I mean, it does exist in a similar realm as our E tier boy that had the battery, but it's like
it is worse.
It is so much worse. Even though there's so much more effort went into it. It's a lot worse.
Totally. Well, and then tripod again. I keep circling back to that.
It does say fluid system. And made in Germany. All the best camera gear is made in Germany. So
it's true. Yeah. It's I mean that tripod scares me regardless. But I do appreciate. I guess one thing I appreciate is that they're keeping it simple. They're not throwing all these chunky batteries and all this.
Right.
It's a small bonus point, but there's no extra monitor. They're just using the onboard.
They're not trying to overcompensate. They're just trying to make it
work
functional.
Yeah.
I feel like this exists,
but it's
probably in an E tier.
It's pretty shitty.
Or maybe D tier.
I think D tier.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe C tier.
You think C tier?
Well, the zip ties, man,
yeah, the zip ties are pretty bad, but I don't know. It's still more functional than
Chapman's
it's
lid.
way more
Chapman's
functional.
lid hood.
There's an ice cream bucket on
the camera.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I still believe this should be maybe a D tier, but I will concede to a C tier.
I think it's a C tier. It's pretty rough around the edges.
Definitely points for effort.
Points for effort, yeah.
On that one.
That's what took it up from a B tier in my mind.
Right.
It was the effort points.
What do we got next? This one, I don't think this one's too interesting.
This is
a pretty standard rig. It's actually not that bad. It's well weighted. It's just got cables in bad places.
Yeah, I never wrap cables.
Wrapping cables around the rig like that.
That's big
no.
Well, it
if you have to
hurts the cable.
It damages the cable. If you're continuously doing this, there's no rhyme or reason to how you're wrapping it, so it's damaging the cable.
Especially in HDMI. Like BNC can take a little bit of wrap, but HDMI, it's just not built for that.
Yeah. Also, though, if you need to change the cable, which happens often with HDMI cables or anything like that,
Totally.
or when you're like de-rigging and stuff, you're fucked.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's just a pain.
you got
And say you need to go, I don't know, say you need to change something about the rig. Say you need to go to a gimbal, or you need to, go to a car rig or something, which is unlikely for this rig. But,
yeah, it looks like they're dedicated. They're pretty dedicated to the.
But still, like it's one of those things where just like bunch cables. You got all this space by the monitor and the battery, and everything's fairly evenly weighted. It looks like the plate the shoulder pad should go a little farther forward.
Yeah, because they got some real estate with this. How are they expecting to focus with both their hands on the camera?
That's what I'll see too.
I see that so often, and anyway, this doesn't seem too bad.
And the thing with it too is because you're gonna have to likely focus with this hand, and you got the monitor on this side. It's weighted this way.
Right. So you're like this, and then you're like this, and so now you're supporting all the weight on the lens with your left hand.
Or yeah, exactly. And it's so that's not good. I think the monitor should move closer into the center. But I mean, it's a good attempt. I think it's an A.
Bad.
I think it's an A tier. Frankly.
No, you mean A tier is shitty.
Oh, that's right. I keep on forgetting.
We're doing this
system.
backwards. Yeah. I think we should have done it the other way, but it's too late now.
It's too late now. I think it's a E tier.
E tier. Yeah, it does exist in the same realm.
Yeah, there's a couple annoying. We're getting nitpicky with it though. Like it could almost be an F tier.
Yeah, it could almost be an F tier.
I mean, it is of what we've seen.
How about
one of the more functional rigs.
We'll put it at the F tier, and then if we find something that's better,
a good idea. Yeah.
Then because I don't really remember what's here, then we'll rearrange that. So that is a tentative F tier.
I agree fully with that statement. Oh baby,
this one.
Oh, I love what I see here. So many things.
This is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera Special.
Yeah.
So we got, what is that on top? Is that an SSD? That is an SSD.
So what that is
SSD in a case.
So they're not using the approved SSDs for the Blackmagic,
right? Because
the Samsung T5 is approved for certain bit rates and certain codecs or resolutions.
Of course.
So you can use it. This gets risky when you're using some other SSD or third-party SSDs because it could technically work, but there's more chance that something's going to go wrong.
My biggest problem with it is that you have the SSD, which is arguably one of the most important parts of your rig if you're recording externally, is attached with whatever this is.
With that looks like a light. It's like the things that come with the light, the
completely
stand, like.
It just seems like
light connection.
You reach for it once, and that connection right there is gone. Or it I
think that's a lot of, just to kind of dial in on that, because that's a very important subject. I think with Blackmagic rigs is the SSDs overall are bad. I think any SSD, just external recording in general,
100%
is just is a risky game to play, and it's especially with the way a lot of people rig them. It's just asking for danger.
Yeah.
Because you're recording, and what if you bump the cable? And USB-C isn't a professional codec,
right?
Or it's not a codec, a professional standard.
Yeah, totally.
It's a consumer standard, so it's flimsy. There's more room for error.
Yeah, completely.
Whereas you're recording to still bad, but you're recording to say a Shogun through SDI. Yeah. At least the SDI is a solid connection, and there's less of a chance that there's going to be an issue with that. But there still is issues.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't like it. And the other thing with that is,
what's with the monitor? Why is the monitor so far out and low? Are they planning on sitting down? Probably.
That could be it. It could be a corporate video talking head rig.
Video boy.
But then they don't have like a zoom lens on, so I don't know. Maybe it's for an interview. That could be it. But again, this with all these big,
look at the
thick cables.
This big, thick HDMI cable that's coming all the way down here.
And that's the thing. It's just like bundle it up, because
that cable, and they are fucking that input up
totally
so hard, or output.
You know what? Even if they weren't adjusting the monitor, if they fucking zip tied it to the Magic Arm.
No, that's 100% what I would do, is just take this little bit right here and bring it up to the Magic Arm, and just take the tension off of the thing.
Totally.
Anyway, where do we put this? This is it looks atrocious. It's semi-functional for what I think
it's probably intended for a very specific thing.
This feels like a B tier for me.
But the thing with a camera rig is that it should, regardless of what you're shooting, it should be flexible to shoot everything. You know what I mean? And I think that's something, to a certain extent. Like for example, with this camera, you could pop it off there and you could go shoot something else with it. You know what I mean?
Definitely could.
And that's what I think this lax. Like obviously you'll rig.
How do you rate my rig?
It's pretty solid actually. You know, it is for an intended purpose.
Nothing's happening on that rig.
But we're assuming we're shooting out in the field. That's what I'm assuming.
I think we should just assume that this is a corporate rig, and
Yeah. That's the thing is you want to be able to, you know, maybe you're shooting the interview like that, but then you also want it to be flexible so you can take it off and maybe get some B-roll, even if that's not requested right away. It may come up.
It's true. I agree. I think having rigs like this that are super messy,
I think it should
is just a
be-
bad idea in general.
I think it should be an A.
You think
it's,
A?
It's one of the worst ones I've seen so far.
All right, I'll take. I agree with A.
Just as far as functionality and everything.
All right, this guy.
Oh baby.
So this is a car rig.
Yeah.
Have you seen this rig?
No, I haven't. I mean, it's
Just wait. Let's just get into it.
could be at first glance it could be far worse.
So whatever all this is taped on.
So that's an HDMI to SDI converter.
We're also shooting on the famed 18 to what is it? Is
Sigma
it
18 to 35. Yeah. Yeah.
Classic.
We got a DJI focus on there, I think.
We got a loose
NPF plate.
NPF dummy battery for some reason.
Yeah.
Everything's bongo tied.
They do have I mean this already feels more professional, frankly. Overall. Like I don't think the car rigging could be far better.
They've also got some more zip ties here. They zip tied this
the stair tube.
Yeah. To the car rig.
Yeah.
Which is interesting choice.
Interesting choice.
They're also shooting with the window down, which in my opinion is kind of defeats the whole purpose of the car rig, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean it you mean the window up?
Or I meant up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have it down.
I think so. I mean they could be getting this one actually.
It's not bad.
It's not. I'm not as. I saw it and it
plate.
looked ugly, but I mean, a lot of car rigs look ugly.
Yeah, but they couldn't tighten it up. I agree. Maybe I just judge messy rigs, but
So
oh,
I
they
guess
do have a safety line here too.
yeah, they got a
right
safety.
there.
Well, and then
That's not bad.
look on the red. They got a proper like rated safety there too.
Oh, beautiful.
So I mean, it's.
Let's hear your
I think
professional opinion.
I think it could be just overall. It could be far better.
Right.
It could definitely be far better. But we got like safeties. We got the car rig isn't as beefy as I would maybe like, but it looks like a professional option.
Yeah.
What they should have also done is they should have found a way to ratchet the rig onto the door using fender hooks.
Yeah.
But they got every. I think
They're
it's
covering
messy.
their bases. But
And
it's
I think
messy.
the problem with it is it's messy. Is like
They got a loose HDMI here. They got this tape.
yeah,
tape
and that's the
bothers
thing
me.
with car rigs is you can't mess around. You know, with loose stuff. You got to
Yeah.
everything has to be cinched down, and everything has to be tight and clean and organized because it's traveling on a car. You know, you don't want something
Yeah.
to fall off or
It's gonna get windy. Things are gonna be slapping against each other.
totally. And I think that's the biggest flaw. Like it started out good, but I think the final execution of it is, and then also just the placement of the stair tube.
No, that's horrible. What
is-
are you planning on? You're gonna reflect all the light from that window back into the lens, and you're gonna shine it directly into the lens and blow it out.
And just be super fronty. Like it's not the best.
Why not put the light in the car?
Or on the hood shooting in.
Yeah.
Like if
No,
you
I
don't
agree.
see that, like that would be the far better place to place that. It's kind of a weird placement. So I feel like this was part like that. They probably had a somewhat professional crew,
That were limited in their equipment.
potentially limited in their equipment, and or kind of like a C tier crew that was like had some knowledge, had worked on some bigger sets, some MOW, but like weren't. This was their
Right.
first time doing it themselves, opposed to being like the second AC or just the swing grip. You know what I mean?
Right.
So principle is there, but I don't know. I'd
Where do we put it? Put a B tier?
No,
Is it not that shitty?
it's not that shitty. I
You
think
think
it's
C?
I think it's C or D. Frankly, it's.
I think it's.
let's put it C maybe.
I think it's C personally. Like I know it's functional and everything, but that's not the only criteria.
That's true.
Like if I was on this shoot and I had all this shit, I'd just be
Yeah,
like, let's
you're-
get rid of this. We're getting rid of this. We're getting rid of that. We're getting rid
Yeah.
of this. Like,
Okay, let's make it
I think it's a C
C,
tier.
C or B. I'm happy with either of those.
all right, I vote C. I guess we'll try to make it small enough.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's C tier.
Cool.
All right, what's next? Oh, this one's not too bad. I just thought it was funny that they were using, like 100 step up filters.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's funny too because that specific nap box comes with step down to 77. So it's like just get a whatever that is, 58 or
Actually, I think I'm realizing why they did that. Because this follow focus gets in the way. The matte box would be too close for the lens. You see? Because there's got this big chunky boy here. So they probably did that to separate the actual matte box from the lens.
But also, do they even have a filter in the matte box?
I can't tell. It looks like there isn't because you'd see it kind of popping over, but I don't know. It could be a 4x4.
4x4s don't work in that. They kind of work, but you gotta like tape them in.
You'd have to close the sides off.
It slides back and forth. It's a nightmare.
Well,
that's a reasonable thing.
And then what are you gonna do with the follow focus when you got another double-handed shoulder rig, and then it's all front heavy again. There's very front heavy,
and then also like front and side heavy. Like you're putting the center of gravity like here, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, so you're like not only struggling to hold it up, but it's like when you go to pull focus.
Actually, pull them.
Sorry, yeah. When you go to pull focus, you're like putting all the weight, like it's just top heavy in this way. Sorry, I'm struggling here. I think I was doing okay up until I had to show what a shoulder rig looked like. And also I just noticed this. It's an OG. Some plus points for the OG Blackmagic pocket.
I think real quickly, this is probably a C.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, maybe a D. I'd say this exists in D line because it seems relatively
too front heavy though.
Too front heavy.
Too front heavy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think and probably pointless matte box. So I think it's a C or a B.
All right. C. Let's see. Oh, this one is.
Ooh.
This one we've got some. I should have put these layers above this other shit, but now we've got whatever.
You're in a hoop.
I'm in a pickle.
Oh,
so this
look
is
how fucking thick that HDMI is. That is a thick.
Look at that. This is what made me cringe so hard. You just absolutely destroying this HDMI. You got this really thick HDMI, and then they're like bending it against. That is one of
the thickest HDMIs I've ever seen. I think like that is a chunky boy. Look how
that's how you know it's good at transmitting data.
Yeah.
You need a bigger cable for 6K.
Yes,
you got to fit all the Ks through the cable
into the 480p monitor.
Yes, exactly.
Into the Feel World, the 4-inch.
Of course, the Free World. This is definitely a 6K monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, it says 4K.
Feel World, but still.
Anyway, I just included this because I was looking at the
gaudy
whatever it is, the hydro dipped cage, and then when I first saw it, I was like, this is fucking garbage. And then I kind of stared at it a little bit. I was like, it's not the worst.
I mean, it's okay.
It looks kind of cool.
The rig is good. I think I get what they're doing there. It's small enough and light enough that they're gonna go handheld like this, which sucks,
right,
for long periods of time. But I think it's small enough that it's reasonable.
I don't think any rig should be held out in front of you like that ever. I think that makes it a garbage rig, in my opinion.
I agree, but like, I mean, they're going for like easy rig without easy rig. I
guess. How long is that going to last? Have you ever shot on a rig?
No,
that's
it sucks.
Like this?
I'm saying it sucks, but I'm just saying it's small enough that they could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
And at least they built it to do that well. Like they got the handles on each side. They're putting, you know what I mean?
Does the hydro dipped cage do anything for you?
No, it sucks. I hate it. I don't get this. I recently got in a bitter argument with someone about they painted their Blackmagic.
Oh, you got in an argument with them about that?
Yeah. Well,
let's cover that. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
We'll show it. We'll show the Facebook conversation.
Because they were anyway.
No. We'll get into it.
It's a whole cup of tea. I don't know. So
we'll cover that when we're done ranking.
I think, and I mean, like, look at I think the SSD is placed well. See, I don't think this is functional for like. It's for the run around corporate video guys. Like, I'd rather this rig than a gimbal, frankly. You pop it into your chest, get your arms like that, and you can get some really smooth footage. And elite, like they place, they have handles, they have nice handles, and they have them separated from the camera.
Yeah.
And the matte box is okay. Like,
there's no point to it.
No point to it, but I mean, maybe they're gonna throw a filter in there.
Yeah, I don't know. They should have put the motor on the other side too.
Yeah, they should.
And it's also resting on the motor. The whole rig is resting on the motor.
They need like a plate at the bottom or something to lift it up a bit. But I mean, it is
bad.
I think it's
somewhat functional. I agree with D.
Yeah, D's are reasonable.
I agree with D. Personally, I think I kind of like the cage all colorful. I know that's against everything that I should like, but
I mean they did it well. It looks like the quarter 20s weren't damaged.
It is well done. I'm just gonna see if I can like move some of these over. Oh, I can. Oh, wait. Okay, this is a fruitless effort. Never mind. Let's keep going. What else we got? Oh, this one's great.
Oh man.
Look
Okay,
at the
so
beautiful
first off,
cable management on this one.
I
just want to get
your
real.
handle is pointless.
Let's just get real close on the cables.
Yeah, sure. That's fun.
Look at that.
I mean, they tried.
I mean,
It's actually not that bad.
I completely disagree.
I think
I
on
think
the
that's
scale
horrible.
it's horrible, but on the scale of Blackmagic rigs,
Nah,
because
I mean,
at least it's tightly knit and they're not all loose and all over the place.
yeah,
And
but
they
they're
put it-
also just like in a state of distress.
That's okay. That's fair. I'm lowering
Like-
I'm lowering my standards because it's Blackmagic. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's fair.
I think on the scale of rigs we've seen,
You're having major troubles with this microphone.
Okay, here we go.
You just want it pointing at your mouth. It's okay.
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That sounds great.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. Here, like that.
Okay.
Just want to point it. Maybe I need to get better microphones that are more dummy-proof,
Yes.
more Shae-proof.
Yes. That's change your entire. Because I move a lot, so I move away.
I know. That's why someone commented on the last one that I was like moving my mic all the time. It's because I'm like, I want to lean it and I want to, anyway, whatever.
Okay, I'll try to focus on moving my mic.
All right. So we got, it's just a nest of cables.
It is it's not pleasant. I don't like it.
Yeah, but there's no reason why these cables couldn't follow the same path and just be Velcroed.
That's true.
That's what bothers me. Oh, also, I don't know if you saw the little piece of paper that's holding the lens up.
Yeah, that's funny. I also really dislike people destroying the usage of their top handles.
Yeah, why? I know that it's got threads on it, but just put it over there on this side.
I think that's why the camera kind of forces itself into being poorly rigged.
Right.
Because there's not enough points because it's too small and people don't think,
It's not wide. Why didn't they make it long?
That's
Why
the
not
thing.
make it
Why
long?
not make it a cube?
Yeah.
It would have been so much better as a cube form factor.
I agree.
But that's the thing is like if you've ever been on a film set, you know that you frequently need to have a handle on the top of it to carry the camera, not even to shoot, just to
walk around with it.
just to have it.
And if you got shit, especially like as an AC, I know this all too well. If you got shit that's all around the handle, you like hit your knuckles on it often, and your knuckles will be all bloody at the end of the day. Or like I've had it where like I had a magic arms, like the DP attached a magic arm to the handle, and I put it down, and my finger was kind of like lodged in between the magic arm and the thing, and I pulled up on it, and it really like, I don't know,
fucked up
yanked
your
my
hand.
finger.
And it's also just hard to use, like especially if you also want to potentially.
Yeah, where do you hold this? You can't hold it here because that's where the cables are. You can't hold it on the top handle because of the battery. You can hold it on the lens, and you can hold it on the right side like a DSLR, which is like fine, but then you got to look up at the monitor, which is up top. Let's rate this boy. We've been talking about this one for quite a while.
Let's do.
I think this one's a C.
I think it's a.
Are we hitting
C,
too many?
C or a B? I think.
Okay, let's do B. We're doing too many C's.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree.
Let's see. Oh, we got so many more. We got so many more.
Holy.
All right,
shit.
we gotta speed this up.
Okay, quick rating.
Yeah, let's see.
Garbage. I hate it. Not
Let's
balanced.
See. Yeah, front heavy. They got nucleus nano in a place that you can't access. What are you supposed to turn that with your middle finger?
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
just reach your middle finger out and like focus.
Yeah, that's bad. Pointless. Front heavy.
More cables wrapped around the thing, damaging your cables. Top handle's free.
Top handle's free. Plus points for
it
powering.
Is balanced on the tripod, but it is not balanced as a shoulder rig.
Yeah, and maybe plus points for their power. They seem to be powering everything off of the gold mount battery or the V mount battery.
Yeah.
So that's a plus, but I just and I mean the tripod's probably at its capacity, especially for that. It's like just better tripod. You don't need a fizz. You just don't.
No, you don't need a wireless follow focus if you're doing shoulder rig or handheld, unless you're doing I mean, I don't know. I've seen. Okay, so you got the Nucleus M with the handles in it.
Yeah.
I've used that. Actually, I haven't used that like once on a serious shoot, because any shoot that I need that level of focus pulling or that level of rigging, I usually have an AC.
Exactly.
But I mean, I can see uses for this, but just put the Viz in a place where you can actually use it. Yeah.
Or just don't. I just circling back. Just don't have a fizz.
I think. Well, I disagree. If you're doing a two-handed shoulder rig, then I think you can have a fizz because you functionally you can't reach up. It's more difficult to reach up, but also
But
a better way to
just make it one-handed.
I agree. No,
and that's the thing.
That's what I was just gonna say is like just put the handle, center the handle, and then you can just focus with your hand. Way less things to go wrong.
Not to be a broadcast fart here because I barely do any broadcast stuff, but I do shoot docs every once in a while, and everyone's pulling off the lens. Every single you go to a sports game, everyone's pulling off the lens.
Right. No, I 100% agree. This has been this is what instigated my love for shitty Blackmagic rigs, was seeing everyone use the Nucleus Nano for like everything. They just put it everywhere.
You're wasting power. You're wasting.
You're losing flexibility, in my opinion, and you're also it's easier to break down. So where does this one fit?
Batteries are gonna go through faster. It's just ridiculous. It's completely arbitrary.
So this one's pretty shitty. I think even though it looks more functional, I think overall it's fairly shitty. You think this is S?
Yeah, let's throw it an S.
I think this exists in B.
I think it's an A then.
All right, let's put it in A.
I mean, it was obvious that they had the resources, but they just fucked up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It wasn't they didn't have money. Like oh baby, I've seen this one. This was a good one. This is some good old OG Blackmagic.
You got a Rokinon lens. That's classic.
And not the film version either, which is fun.
No, that's just
the stills version.
I mean, that's somewhat more functional, honestly. If you're doing a handheld, I would say that's more functional.
I like the bite of the gears.
Yeah.
I at least.
But my argument is always when I see people using cinema lenses, my argument is always like, you can get that exact same lens for like $100 to $200 cheaper as a photo lens, and you don't have a follow focus anyway. You have no use for a follow focus.
But it's the flexibility. And that's the thing.
You have it. I'm not talking for you. I'm talking about for
the average.
videographer life.
That's true.
So I feel like that lowers the points in that ups the points in my opinion. That is a photo lens.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But you got the gaff tape, battery.
Horrendous London Drugs Optex tripod in the back that is not at all rated for whatever is going on here.
Right.
You're never going to get a smooth pan. That's why people. I think that's why people like gimbals so much.
Right.
It's because they buy bad tripods.
And they're like, oh, I want my footage to look cinematic
and smooth. And then their tripod, you like unlock it and it's like. Just shaking around, and it's like, well, of course it looks like shit, and of course you want a gimbal because you have a terrible tripod,
right?
And then also I never put that kind of tape on a camera ever.
No, I agree. That'll leave so much residue. You're basically
especially on something that heats up a battery,
right? 100%.
It's gonna melt. This is an S. This is
an S.
I think we need an S. We haven't got an S, and it's pretty shitty.
Okay, let's put that in an S. But it is functional. I think it's just as functional as this one down there on E that we gave it E. I feel like this is more. I feel like this is genuinely.
They use like they didn't put tape directly on the camera.
They can derig it.
They can derig it
without wrecking anything.
This they just taped a battery on the top. It's pretty pathetic. I think that's an S.
I feel like it's still more of a C. Can we put it at a B?
Let's put it at an A because I think it's pretty shitty, man. It's
pretty bad.
Also, it's
A tier, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
I just really needed the air horn.
Yeah. Use that more frequently.
I know. That's why I did. Anyway. Okay.
Yep.
All right. On to the next shitty rig.
This is a glorious one.
So this one's a little hard to see. I'm just gonna bring this above all the other ones so we can see it. This is gonna be the new process.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So we've got.
Oh baby. This is this I like a lot. This is the worst rig. I think this is maybe the S.
You think this is the S?
Like, look at how.
Yeah, I can't really tell what's going on.
So I mean, maybe some plus points that they're recording audio well, but
yeah. So they got an f8 on this camera, mounted to the camera,
but again,
on the top.
Yeah.
What is this? That's just the 15 mil rod.
So
that's just there.
That's the
for
small
fun.
rig makes the 15 mil rod with the quarter 20s and the 3/8 in it.
Oh, I see what he has.
And then that's holding up the f8, which is completely unbalanced and garbage, and like that feels like it's. And then it looks like because the f8 is unbalanced, it looks like see that other magic arm in the back.
Yeah,
I think that's also attached to the f8 or holding it up somehow. Because I think look how. I don't know what that's for though. Like that's the only thing I could think of.
Maybe.
Oh no, it comes down.
Yeah, it comes down right there. It's going from here. It goes. What is that? It goes somewhere over here. Anyway, it's a mystery. So we have, and then we've got this. We've got this monitor here. That's fine. This is
Yeah.
fine. It's really just this audio and the cable management and what's up with this battery here. I mean,
but
that's
also it's like, and
the
also like,
limitations of the
where is the
camera.
XLR going? Why is the mic off? Is the mic going to be on a boom? At that point, why even have it attached to the camera?
Yeah, and then they're using, I don't know, some Canon photo lens. Where does this sit? I think this is a pretty
This maybe isn't as
clear-
bad as I thought. It's definitely an A, I think. I think it's an
Yeah,
A.
I
We got
agree-
too
I
many
agree with that.
C's. It's trash.
No, that definitely feels like an A tier
Yeah.
to me. What do we got next? Next, we've got. Oh, this is fun. We can just readjust it every single time.
Yeah.
And then this one to me, I feel like doesn't look as bad at first glance until you notice that the monitor is on the back
backwards.
of the
Yeah.
handle for some reason. And what would you ever use this handle for?
Yeah, that's very strange. I don't like that at all. Yeah. So we got we got a hood on the OG monitor.
Right, which
Mhm.
is clearly, I mean, maybe it's being used. It's hard to tell.
That's the thing is I wonder. Well, they got the SSD, so they're not using the Shogun or the Atomos for recording.
Right, so we can assume that it's just
It's the viewing monitor.
yeah.
Which they're that's a bad place to put that monitor if you're using it for viewing.
Yeah, I have no idea what that's
And
for.
then you got a top handle. Like this rig looks like it would be useful if you're shooting up, like just up all the time. Like
no,
you got the
you're
handle
using
right
the rig
there.
upside down.
Well, it looks like because you'd be holding it like this, and then the monitor's right there. It's like and with the lens pointing up.
Right, yeah.
And we got the handle like it's perfect. It's almost like it's designed to shoot the ceiling all the time. You know what I mean? Like the
I
monitor.
could see that, or maybe it's a top-down deal. But why would you need the follow focus for any of those?
And why wouldn't, if it was a top-down deal, why wouldn't you separate the follow focus? Because that's the point of having a follow focus.
Yeah,
It
I
should be
agree.
top-down, and
100%.
also separating the monitor. Like get the monitor so you can see what you're doing.
100%. And also, it's handheld. Why wireless
Yeah.
follow focus?
And then
Classic.
it also looks like I can't tell at the bottom there. We're spending too much time on these, but it looks
There
like
is better ones,
it looks like some sort of one of those like cheap
like a gimbal stand thing.
gimbal stands. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's holding it, which maybe is smarter than I think it is for the kind of shooting that they might be doing. But it's just kind of weird. And I
Who
don't wanna
knows?
feel-
There's
yeah.
objectively some bad things happening here.
Yeah,
I feel like this is. I can't even
I think
tell
it's
what
a
the
B,
functional
B or an A.
Yeah, I would say B, or honestly, I would say A. I don't know what the function of this is, but if
Yeah.
yeah, let's just say
We've had no S's yet.
no. I feel like the S's are coming.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
There's this
Ooh.
thing.
These are just so creative. I love I love what people are doing with their time.
It's good to see that people, are expressing
So
themselves.
why the stuff at the bottom? I don't understand that. It feels like it would be so top heavy if you're holding it there. They would be like it's like way up here, and you're like
It'd be like balancing a broom on your finger.
yeah. It's so it would take more energy than it's worth. You got kind of some messy cable management, some pluses for the V mount battery.
It's mainly this thing, I think, is the
Yeah.
problem. Like everything looks relatively cinched up and nice. It's just this thing. It's like, what the fuck is that for?
Yeah, like if you had that bar going across and then two handles facing up,
Yeah.
that would make more sense. Like you're holding like
Yeah.
closer to the center of gravity. I think people who make Blackmagic rigs have this like don't have an understanding of how gravity and center of gravities work. You know what I mean? Like there's so frequently cameras where it was just like if you looked at it and thought about it for a second,
They
they're
don't
like,
believe in gravity.
yeah, they don't.
There's a strong crossover between Blackmagic users and the flat Earth movement.
Yeah. that's what I'm saying. But I mean, like genuinely though, like a lot of these, the biggest issue is there's no understanding of where the center of gravity is and how to make it easier on yourself. You know what I mean?
Completely.
Like that's this huge issue across the board with a lot of these Blackmagic rigs is just making them.
There's just like, let's throw everything on here, and without regard for how I'm going to use it. I just
Yes.
know that this is what
needs
a
to be-
camera should look
totally.
like.
And they just don't understand where like how gravity is going to affect it and how it's going to make. It's like they're not shooting with them. And they don't-
I would not shoot with this rig. I feel
No.
like this is either an A or an S, to be honest. Even though it's got relatively okay cable management, I feel like this is something that I would throw in the garbage.
Yeah, like the bottom part is just we need an S. Let's put it
That
in
feels
S.
very S. That is an S tier.
I like the idea of that being an S.
All right, what else we got?
Ooh.
This one, I spent a little time looking at this, and I can't.
I mean, it's not
no, just
horrendous.
Wait. Just wait. So we've got.
Oh, this is the special grip that's got a battery in it.
So this is the we got a special grip with a battery in it that's intended for powering things. We got D-taps. And then we got this other battery.
That's huge.
That's huge. That is a mystery.
But I like that battery if it was just the only battery on.
And then I think this is probably a motor controller for
this automated
slider, but I don't see a motor. And I think I have the same slider and it does not have a motor. And I don't know if you can mount a motor to it.
It looks like it's got a spot for a motor. Like, you see that silver thing? That looks like it would be.
I see that.
There might be something on the other side that we're not aware of. But
then we got this ball head that it's sitting on for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess to make space for this, and why it needs to be mounted there, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then we've got it on the slider, and then the whole slider system is on a fluid head.
Cartoni.
And then we also have a wireless follow focus
up there
for God knows.
If you were in this magical world, if it was on the slider, put it down there.
Put it on
then
the
you've got your
handle.
control, and it's funny because that slider control looks like a pan tilt control.
Yeah, but there's no way it's panning and tilting this or that.
Totally. And then you got the monitor way up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're operating, you're like craning your neck to see that, I think.
Right.
It feels like maybe.
This is definitely a case of I have all this stuff. What can I do with it? Can we put it all together at one time?
And again, that's what I think is more problematic with these is it's not, we're not trying to make fun of poor people. This person isn't a poor person. This is a person who spent a whole bunch of money on stuff
and time on making just a piece of garbage.
On making a piece of garbage. I think this one should also go in at least A, maybe.
I feel like this is also an S tier. This to me seems like so not functional. It's got the classic wireless follow focus. There's like 2 batteries. Oh, and there's a little USB splitter here too for some reason.
Oh yeah. No, let's put it in S tier.
Yeah, this is S tier. This is 100% S tier.
Oh, it hurts to look at. That's really bad. Like
that was one of my favorite ones. But I think there's better ones. We got so many good ones, guys. Don't even this one.
Oh yeah,
you've seen this one.
I've seen this one.
And the caption, as far as I remember,
doing this. I did this
really
when I first started shooting weddings in school and stuff like that.
So is there a photo of you?
Probably somewhere,
there?
yeah. Probably TJ Peters has a photo of me doing it somewhere.
The thing that makes this really shitty though is that someone posted this on the Terrible Blackmagic group, and I think the caption was something like he owns a Ronin S, but chooses to do this because he says he just likes it better.
He likes it better. Yeah. That's pretty bad. I mean, let's think about this. He's making a nice triangle.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not functional. It is functional, but
it is functional, but it's not a good look, I think. And that's one thing you got to think about too. Is people like to make the joke like, oh, the only reason I have a map box is for the client.
Yeah,
and they think it's so important what the client thinks, which is true. But I think this is maybe one of those moments where it's like, think about how you're begging to be ridiculed, you know.
I think the truth behind this image is that he's just not very good at using his Ronin S, so he chooses to use this because this is what he started using.
That could be true.
He probably had this, got the Ronin S, was like, this is kind of hard.
Yeah.
And then went back to the old timeless
tripod arena,
which is like,
again, it's a functional.
It's fine. It's functional. I just thought it was kind of funny.
It moves your hands away from the center of the lens. Like it works.
I agree. I feel like this is also sort of like an E or an F tier.
I think it's a E tier. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go E.
Yeah. It's not amazing. It's kind of garb.
It's functional, but it's still bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the circumstance that he has a broken. Like if he was just doing that because he didn't have any alternative, that would be an F for me, I think. But I think
100%.
what makes it an E is that with the context that he already has a Ronin S or something that can do the job better.
Exactly. What else we got here? This one.
I love this one.
This is a classic. I don't have any of the other photos. There's like, the whole 360.
So car rigging 101 is everything has been broken. So we got a filter taped on to a lens
with purple tape.
And it's funny what specifically I think we should deliver the context that the people were like in the who made this and posted this posted it seriously.
Right. And they were like, check out the sick ass car rig I'm doing.
Yeah, and then when I went to comment being like, that's extremely dangerous and irresponsible.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't care, it's just a Blackmagic pocket. Which like, yeah, it is. And I get it's more expendable, like it could be a GoPro, but it's obvious that they aren't at the level that it is a GoPro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's movies that would probably use this as like a GoPro
Right.
and just trash it because it's so cheap.
Yeah,
know?
exactly. But this is the camera they're shooting on.
This is the camera they're shooting on, and also the lens looks to be a little bit. I don't know if you don't have another angle of it.
No,
but
not on
if you
here.
see the other angle of it, the lens looks like a old Cook or a Baltar or something like
Right.
that, which you would not want to.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
who cares about the body? I don't give a shit about that. It's
Yeah.
like the lens is the concern.
And I've taped filters on like this. Sometimes you just have to do
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
I think it's the combination and the lack of care and
Put into it, yeah, totally. No safety. So there's a lot of things.
It's funny that they were just. Oh, and I think it's funny that they've threaded this directly into the camera. Like
Yeah.
so many things to go wrong. Like there's a lot of shit happening when you start driving. Like one good bump, those threads are toast.
Totally.
Like completely toast.
And I think it's either either a hot shoe or a quarter 20
Mm-hmm.
on the top, which is
Yeah.
not bueno.
Yeah.
For that the
Not
amount of
bueno.
force, not the amount of force that it's being. And if you pull down a little bit,
Okay.
just so I can see up higher. Yeah. So you got a third party gross grip heads, which is whatever, that's what they can afford.
Yeah.
You got 2 points. And your general rule of car rigging should always be at least 3 points, if
Right.
not more.
Yeah. This
and
thing's
a
gonna be
safety.
bouncing back and forth.
It's gonna be bouncing back and forth, and you got a tiny quarter 20 going off a magic arm, which is like a photography tool. It's not like a professional rigging tool.
Right.
Going into the bottom, and then you got a spud with either a hot shoe or a quarter 20 going into the top.
Either way. Basically.
Either way, bad.
Either way.
Either way, it's a big yikes. And then presumably there's no safety to the suction cups, so there's only 2 suction cups. If your temperature changes, as a car drives, even though it's not on the engine or the hood, there's
No,
still
we've
heat.
done this. We've done suction cup stuff where the suction cups will lift.
Eventually, yeah, because
just over time, just because of differences in heat and stuff.
differences in heat, and you're moving around, and it's near the exhaust. Like, I'm sure there's some heat that's going to be implemented from that, and you don't have a ratchet on there.
So it's bad. It's very unsafe.
It's an S, I think, frankly.
It's an S. Yeah, I agree with that. This is definitely an S tier. Ultimate shitty. And like I said, I've taped things on filters on.
Yeah, so have I.
But do you have to do it like all over the
Yeah, you
front?
just do a strip on the top, strip on the bottom.
Yeah, you keep it light, and never for a car rig like this.
Oh no.
Oh man.
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah, big yikes.
What do we got next? We have got. Oh, this is a freaking. This one is legendary.
You need to talk about this one. This is your baby.
I'll just show you the video.
Yeah.
I have the video. This to me, this is an immediate S tier for me. I think this guy is the god of shitty Blackmagic rigs. Like this guy, he kind of got started my passion for it in a way.
He's got the Vazen anamorphics on there.
Yeah, so if I can break it down a little bit. As far as I know, like I watched a YouTube video about it, and he like breaks down the rig, and he spends most of the time talking about how his rig is like big and beefy, and how people like that it's beefy and all this stuff, and how it looks cool. This thing, there's a it's got a rosette on it, the handle.
Yeah.
There's no rosette on the other side of that handle. It's just you just screwed it right to the rig, and it's also not. I think it's like an M4 screw or something. I can't remember. It's not
slightly different than a quarter 20. Yeah.
It's not a quarter 20. It looks like a quarter 20, but it's not. And he says in his video, he's like, I just forced it in basically, and it works.
And then you're holding your whole rig by that.
I described it as you're holding it in front of you like a dirty baby or something. Like it's like someone handed you a baby and you don't want the baby.
You don't want the baby, and you just
and that's how you're filming. And you got this big fucking lens, which he doesn't have any lenses in the set. He only has the 40 mil. So he's basically like, if you're shooting something,
there's
with this,
only 2 lenses in that set.
There you go.
But still, like you gotta get both of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get a set from a prime, your goal should be to get the whole set.
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes it a little useless for most things. And then he's got this battery that's attached to it, and it's attached by a rubber. What do you call it? They're like
tie down.
No, it's the focus ring. It's like to put on. You put it on photo lenses to give them gears.
It's a poor man's gear for your photo lens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Which is like, it's fine to use those on your lens, but like,
as a way of
what are you
securing.
doing? Like,
yeah, and then also
it costs like $5, maybe. Okay, let's say like $30 to get like a little V mount plate that you could attach on that.
Totally.
And like
Makes it quicker for changes, just better.
And it's funny because he's made a shit ton of videos with, like, I've seen so much content with this rig, and it's always the same. Like, he never improves it. It always looks like absolute garbage.
What's irritating too is he's got a nice monitor. He's got a small HD 702 by the looks of it, which is great. That's awesome. But he's got
This is the video.
But he's got a big giant MPF battery when he has a V mount.
Right? Yeah. Why not power that off of the same?
For literally like $30. Well, for probably like including both adapters, like $60. You could get an MPF to a gold to a DTAP, and then get a DTAP splitter, and then power your camera and just one battery. It's just so much.
Let's watch this video. I have to turn it off. I have to turn the volume off. But we can play some. Let's play some music over it just to give it a little. What should we play? We got news. We got Italian.
Let's
we
play
got
some
country or dubstep.
Curb Your Enthusiasm again.
Okay, here.
That's. This is spitting.
Oh my god. Oh, and the wink.
Ooh, the wink.
Like, see this piece of shit? This fucking
Look at
garbage?
this garbage?
Not for me.
Not for me. I'm gonna make it worse.
What I love about this is that the rig he has before is objectively more functional.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite Blackmagic rig. If there was a tier above S tier, that's where this would go, in my opinion.
Let's put it in S tier.
All right, this is S tier.
That's S tier.
That is the perfect S tier, in my opinion.
Oh, that is so good.
I just want to congratulate, what's his name? Alexandru on his fantastic Blackmagic rig.
He won.
You know, he really did win because he gets a lot of clout from shitty rig. Who's doing it right? Him or us? Definitely him.
There's one that I'm hoping is in here. I don't know if it is. We're getting close to the end. So
we are getting close to the end. But
this one's a good one. I found this one and this is say hello to my beauty, all rigged up. I call her creativity. First of all, assuming that you're first of all, kind of weird that you're assuming. I don't know. It's like the naming boats after women. It's gross. That is weird.
Right.
Don't do it.
I think it's funny. I think one of the reasons why it's really maybe it's not funny, but it kind of tells the story of how all these Blackmagic users they'll build this rig and they're like, this is my rig. This is the rig I shoot on now. This is mine. This is unique, and
it's like
it's so interesting.
We should play the clip from Full Metal Jacket where it's like, this gun is yours. There are many guns like it, but this is yours. And they're all standing in a row with their rifles.
Can we find it?
Yeah.
Is it worth watching? I don't know.
No, it's not. But I mean, maybe just I don't know. You can cut this.
Let's
part
just
out.
watch it. No, we won't cut it. We're gonna keep it. What's it called?
Full Metal Jacket rifle.
Jacket. I'm just gonna look up your gun.
My rifle.
My rifle.
There we go. Oh, 480.
We're gonna get copyright claimed for this.
Probably,
part.
yeah.
Let's just play some music over it. Or dubstep.
You need it.
No, Italian music. There. That'll protect us. This defeats the whole purpose of watching this. All right.
I like that out of the six songs you have, one of them is Italian music.
I'm Italian. I have to keep it. I got to keep it 100.
Fuck.
It's lit. It's all. We know it's lit.
This is a bad rig. Lots of things. It just looks bad.
Where do you hold it? It's super front heavy. Why is the monitor all the way up there? Why is it named Creativity?
So many questions. I think it's
It is very creative, though.
It is creative, yeah. I think it's an A or an S. I think maybe an A because the bonus of the calling it creativity. It's cringy, but
I think A. I think this guy's still figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's not bad enough to be an S tier, in my opinion.
Yeah. At least, and that's the thing is like I think we needed to define. There's the people that are just inexperienced and are just trying to do good things,
and then there's dummies.
And then there's people that think that they're experienced, and that's why our buddy there got into
S
tiers because he thinks he's this hot shit, but his rig is atrocious, and he has no understanding of.
There's other video. Let's watch another video. Honestly, he's got other videos of similar rigs.
I'd love that,
and they're just as entertaining. Let's see.
Are you gonna blur out the name, or are you just gonna?
No, he's a famous guy. We're not doxing anybody. He's like got somewhat. He's way famous. Look at what has he got? He's got 37 followers. Maybe not way famous, but he's like, we're punching up here. I don't feel that bad.
Oh man.
I'm trying to find like a lot of his rigs are like not bad. They're just basic, like it's like
it's just FS7.
just basic shit. But all the ones with this specific rig, where is it? Did I pass it already? There's this photo. There's one video. This one's good.
Is this one of the guys you met when you were in New York?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never met this guy.
Oh.
This is him holding it. Look at the way he holds it. He's like leaning back. He's like, oh, my back.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the video
man.
until the video's done. I'm just gonna...
that would be so painful. I can't imagine
like,
operating on that for...
You got the clip. Is it good?
Fuck. That would be so painful.
No, who would ever shoot on this?
Yeah,
this guy.
It's like
I love it. And there's nothing in the map box too. It's just a map box.
It's like it's like holding a dead baby or something.
Yeah.
It's really tragic. You're just like, ugh, what do I do with this? There's this Eric Andre bit where it's they go and him and Hannibal Buress
I'm listening. I'm just looking for more stuff.
Yeah, they duel on how many babies they can hold in the park. They just go to the park and go up to random people and be like, "Can I hold your baby?" and Eric ends up winning. It's pretty funny.
That's a pretty good story.
It's pretty. Yeah, it was very not relevant to what we're talking.
There's one specific clip that I'm looking for where he's got a gimbal set up, and if it takes too long, I'm just gonna bounce on this. Let's just find
lots of great photos of himself.
He does.
For sure.
That's the key to being an influencer.
Yeah.
No fault. No shade on the influencer hustle, bro, but your camera sucks. I can't find it. Whatever. There's another grid video of him trying to use a gimbal, and it's funny. It's bad.
I love
All right. What else we got here? This is our next rig.
Yes.
This to me, this is like a teleportation back to like 2010 or something before
but it's funny
camera
because the
rigs.
Nucleus Nanos on there. Which
I know,
means
it's hilarious.
It's current day. No, this is something that
he's like, I could invest in this piece of gear that I absolutely do not need and is far more expensive than
and arbitrary.
And yeah, it's like I need this wireless follow focus. I need the wireless follow focus, but I'm not going to put money into
this. Pisses me off. Like
anything else.
you'd be better off with just a lens, the Blackmagic, nothing else, and a tripod.
Yeah, 100%.
You could do so much more with that.
Get rid of this, buy a tripod, and then you have a career. With
this is funny. It's kind of artsy. It's like
yeah, I could see this in an art gallery.
I could see it. Yeah, that's an idea.
This is very creative.
Yes, this is creative. I think this rig should be called creativity.
Creativity.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this one because it's obvious that they're poor. For lack of a better word. I mean, like, no one would build this if they had any money.
Listen, I think they could have not bought that and just bought a shoulder rig. If they really would need a shoulder rig, get rid of the Nucleus Nano. So I think for me, this is immediate S tier.
This is an S tier, yeah.
Well, I don't think there's anything that can justify.
I love the shroud around the... Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. What do they plan on doing with that? They have to look to the right all the time?
Like this all the time. You'd just be like... this is not good. And then it feels dangerous too. It feels like something bad's gonna happen.
You're gonna get cut on the
you're gonna get cut on the metal. You're gonna get tetanus. This is the tetanus rig.
Tetanus rig gets
0 out of 10. This is S tier.
Full on S tier.
Yeah.
S tier for the what else we got? This one's a classic. I love this one. Actually, there's another one. Okay, we'll show this.
I hope this one is the one I'm thinking it is.
I think it is the one you're thinking of.
It's my favorite. Oh, baby. Throw an air horn on there.
Oh, this is the god of the shitty Blackmagic rigs.
Oh, man, I love this one. Yeah, keep cheering. This is...
More cheers.
More cheers.
More air horns. Volume up on that.
Yeah.
So what do we got?
we got some cinematic goals. What we got here. So we've got the eye pokers, as I like to call them. That's how you lose your vision.
Yeah.
There's just these long, useless rods
On the top
on
for
the
no
top.
reason.
Vaguely where you'd like put it onto your shoulder.
Right. I don't think there's any intention. Or I guess, it's got handles. So
It's got handles. So I think, and it just feels like it's why.
What happens when you put it on your shoulder?
You poke out your eyes. It's so ugly to look at that it's got a built-in system to destroy your eyes. So that when you
the user self-destructs, basically.
Yeah, skeers their eyes.
It's like, you don't deserve a career in cinema.
Yeah. Oh, this is terrible. So they have a Blackmagic pocket, or they have a Blackmagic 2.5K rig.
Yeah, so the cage is for a completely different
camera,
Blackmagic model,
which is fine.
It's very creative. There's a lot of creativity involved in this rig, in my opinion.
I had some dialogue with this gentleman.
Yeah.
Because I posted this in the terrible Blackmagic group.
You posted a different photo of this, and he posted this to justify it. So he posted an equally terrible. He posted an equally terrible,
if not more
rig.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was worse than this OG rig.
This is more terrible.
Yeah.
And so he posted one rig that was shitty, and then he posted this to justify it, and he's like, "Oh, see, it's pretty good."
Which, if you're being called out, just don't respond. That's the best thing. That's the best outcome.
I mean, he can respond. He gave us this beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking out for yourself, don't respond.
Right.
Especially with something that just, I don't know. And that's, I think, what bugs me most about the Blackmagic user groups.
Unwilling to learn.
Sometimes they're unwilling to learn. It's often unwilling to learn. And they're very self-righteous in defending why. And I think
that comment there is going to lead to a lot of self-righteous and dislike on this video.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm sorry for it, but it's just true. It's just what I see.
Yeah.
There is, and again, I said this at the beginning of the video, there's a lot of great Blackmagic rigs out there, and there's a lot of great shooters.
Yeah.
And you could shoot, in theory, you could shoot incredible stuff with this.
And the guy who owns it might be a great cinematographer.
Honestly, but like,
if he's not already blinded.
Yes. Yes. But it's just what we're making of is the technical, functionality of it.
The execution, it could be better.
Totally. You can make life better for yourself
with the same amount of effort.
And that's what's frustrating from our perspectives. But
it's just funny.
It's just funny. It's and then you got I mean, some brownie points for a tripod. That's
brownie points for actual handles, but I don't know if those are actual camera handles.
They look like bike. No, you know what they are? They're off of
like a scooter.
No, for scraping your car.
I think
maybe they look kind of like that, foamy, and then they got indents. They feel like a brush.
Yeah, I could see that
for your car.
I could see that. They got the Shogun on top, which is
and the guy had a Russian name, so there's probably like an excess of brushes,
right?
Because it's wintry.
Right, he probably had to kill someone to get all these materials, and that's why he's so proud of it. He's like, "You don't know what I did for this fucking rig."
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. What's interesting too is he posted a rig photo with no connections, no cables.
See, honestly, I said this to Brie. I was like, "Man, if you're gonna," one of the reasons why I hate all these rigs so much is like, if you're gonna photograph your rig and show it off as if this sick rig, at least take the time to like make it look nice. And if you really suck at cable management, just take the cables off and take a photo of it. I feel like it would look better, honestly.
It's true, but I look at it and I'm like, why is there no cables?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's obviously not a functional rig, but I'm just saying in terms of looks, they do that a lot with camera like advertisements and stuff.
Oh, it's true. Yeah,
like you'll see cameras rigged up that don't have cables on them, and I'm like, this is stupid. Doesn't make sense, but it just looks nicer.
Looks better.
If you're just doing it to show off your rig and show off how it's mounted.
It's true.
You could do
but
that.
Usually those are advertisements for the base rig. They're just for the body, the FS7 or the whatever, where you're not going to have many cables.
I don't know. I've seen them with like from companies that make rigging stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But either way, I mean,
it's not.
You can
it's
just
not bueno.
cinch up the cables. This is the clear S tier in my opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
I feel like this and then the Andrew rig could probably go up on a whole other tier in my opinion.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
They're god tier.
And again, just being very self-righteous in defending it. Like, it's like
they're like, there's a reason why this rig is so shitty, and it's not because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's true. This one's
not a Blackmagic rig, but it was
an It was notable, yeah.
And the guy he justified it as well, but he seemed pretty nice. And so
it's funny though because it looks like he's got OG like Noga arms, which are very expensive arms.
Yeah, I mean,
and then also prop choice for his battery. Like that's a good goal. That's a good USB battery. If you're gonna get a USB battery, it's got a readout on it.
I just can't understand the rationale of having everything mounted to
Magic arms, especially Noga arms. Like
why are they? Why? Okay.
Can you zoom in on the? Is that a? I think it is a genuine Noga arm. Like I think they're. Does it say it says Cine arm? Yeah, I think it is a Noga arm. At least that one. I'm not sure about the other one.
So that's some legit. Actually, it looks like it's the same. It's just older. I can see some text on there.
But those are like $300 arms.
Cine arms. Yeah, I mean it's still shitty though.
And then E-tape. I know.
Doesn't that lean more into your?
That leans into it shittier. That's what's funny about it. Is like why are you?
He has the capability to make it better, but here we are.
Yeah, but here we are. And then you got an auto. I mean, like whatever your choices are, but a shitty Sony native lens.
I just don't understand why this couldn't have been mounted anywhere else. Why do we need the arms? And it's funny he's like you're killing two birds with one stone here by like velcroing the thing to the audio receiver to the
I've done
monitor.
Quite a few A7S rigs, and I know that there's better options than what is.
I have an A7S. I have an A7S Mark 1. I used it as my main camera forever, and it never looked this shitty. I mean, maybe it did. Maybe there's photos of it looking this shitty. I mean, actually, we had anyway.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd say it's like a B or an A. No, it's got to be an A or an S.
I think it's an A. This is 100%.
I think it's an A.
This is one of the least functional rigs I've ever seen, and I don't understand. I still don't understand the arms. I asked him. I was like, why not just like get some rails? And he's like, I just find this easier. And I'm just like, okay. He seemed like a nice guy though, so I don't know. I do feel a little. I don't want to make fun of him personally, but his rig is very, very bad.
Yeah. That's the thing. Separate yourself from your rig.
Exactly. It's not you. It's the rig.
Yeah.
And it starts to become you when you can't see how bad your rig is.
Yes. Yeah. That's where you're doing. Oh.
So this is it. This is the before that yellow one that we were shitting on just now. Yes. This is the one that you commented on originally.
Yes. And I put in the black, which is actually worse. Actually, now that I see it, he did make some improvements. Like
what is that?
That's that's
some
the
kind of clamp. That's
the SSD.
He's clamping the SSD up back there for some reason.
Yeah. And then he's got. I love the USB battery under the lens.
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
That's what I commented on originally. So
that's very creative.
Creative moments. And I think it went uphill slightly.
Yeah, it was slightly more functional.
At
least if you like tilt down, you won't lose your battery on the other one.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. So,
I think it was also a V mount.
It was, yeah. This was the USB, and we can't really see far back, so I don't know if there is actually a gold.
I see the rods end there. Oh, he still has the top rods.
But he still has the top rods.
He's got the top rods and the bottom rods. I think this is worse. I think this is worse.
Oh yeah, totally. This is way worse than he did make improvements compared to with the Mark II. Still has the skewering rods, but I mean. I don't know why those are there. I just can't think of a rational.
I still don't know.
Like, and that's why like some of these I'm like, okay, you got stupid magic arms, but like you're still achieving an objective.
Right.
But the rods, it's just like, just take them out. Why?
The clients love it, man.
The clients love those rods.
The longer your camera is, the more your client will pay you. That's and they don't matter if it doesn't matter if the camera.
My camera is
functionally
this long.
Yeah.
I get paid millions of dollars.
Exactly.
That's it's terrible.
I think this is an S tier.
I
do enjoy looking at it.
Can we put it above the S tier? Can we put it?
I mean, I guess I could put it right up there.
You can't go up. Okay, no, fine. It can just be an S tier.
Okay.
Can it be an S tier? But can you like put a GIF of like a shit emoji on it or something?
I think that would take too long.
Okay.
All right, we're in the home stretch. We got like 4 more. It's starting to get quite exciting.
We're pumping through. This one's funny. I love this one.
This one's fantastic.
Multiple people have accidentally like Jamie Wensley posted. Shout out to Jamie. He posted this one after I posted it.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize, and just because he saw it and just immediately thought about how terrible it was.
Right.
And also how ironic that it is that VizTech.
It's a VizTech ad.
So for people who don't know, VizTech is like a professional photo and video and film.
They're also very creative with their rigs.
They are. I see some. My favorite thing of this one is either Scotch tape or it's medical tape, which would mean that they stole it from the sound guy.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Holding on
the SSD, which is arguably one of the most important parts of this rig that they neglected to.
Yeah, that's the thing is if you're recording to that, and I also love that.
Do you think they have a sound guy?
I don't know. Well, there's no sound equipment on here, and they're doing an instructional video.
Is that an instructional video?
Well, yeah, it's because the ad. With the context of the ad, it's like.
Oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah, the ad's about like basically it's trying to cater to inexperienced people starting their own instructional videos or podcasts during COVID. Was the idea. And
right.
and he's doing like a repair. So I think it's like the idea. It's implied that he's like doing a home improvement instructional video.
Right. Okay. And then we've got this viewfinder with no viewfinder.
Yes, the viewfinder with no viewfinder with props for some Zacuto. Like the Zacuto hardware is good. But again, just bad execution.
Why is their top handle crooked? How does that happen?
I don't know.
What happened?
And then also really the most disturbing thing is just the media.
The media tape, and then they've got the battery under the camera. Which I've
seen a lot on these rigs, and I don't
understand
bueno,
that.
Not bueno.
It's bad. Why make your rig taller?
And then the monitor's not on.
Monitor's not on. I mean,
the viewfinder's not on.
Maybe it's tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's sleepy. Maybe it's sleepy. That's
maybe they only brought one battery because when you have to replace the battery on this rig, you got to de-rig the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, so maybe that's why. Maybe they're
probably like, oh, we got to save some battery. Is it even plugged in though?
That's the thing. It's only not plugged in. Yeah, so but that's the thing is this is a terrible rig. But what makes this more insulting is that a professional store posted this. It sells all this hardware that you could rig out a Blackmagic very well with. Like they have the proper Blackmagic. They have everything you need.
It's almost like an anti-advertisement.
Yeah,
it's like, see, you could just tape this shit on here. You don't need to buy anything from us.
You could just make an arbitrary, like you're not even using the monitor. Why use the monitor? Just use the built-in screen. You could just
dig into our dumpster and probably find all the shit
you need to make this. I just love that it's medical tape or Scotch tape. Like zoom in on it. I'm curious. It's probably not high resolution enough.
No, but
I don't think it
looks
got
like
texture.
Scotch tape to me.
I think it's Scotch tape, but it's got
like
kind of a texture.
Papery.
I think it's masking tape actually.
I think so too.
Maybe the home improvement guy's painting and they just.
Oh yeah, that's got to be it. They borrowed tape from that guy. 100%.
100%.
This is S tier.
This is
full on S tier.
100%. Garbtown. that is so bad.
There is way more S tiers in here than I expected.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect to have. I expected it to be all C tiers.
That's what I was kind of. Well, it started off strong in the C tier realm, you know.
Yeah, I should have put some more heavy hitters at the start.
Yeah.
Here we have.
Oh baby.
We got, of course, wireless follow focus, which I guess it makes sense on the gimbal.
Yeah.
This one's actually not that bad.
It's really the worst thing about it is the clump of cable.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing that's not
Just
good.
buy cables that are the right length. They're so cheap. You can go on eBay for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And get the right cables.
That's the thing is I don't understand people who are spending, you're dropping $1,500 on the focus system, another $1,500 on the gimbal, and then you're just like $20 cable. That's too fucking much. No fucking way. I'm just gonna use this one that my grandpa has because
it honestly feels like a lot of people rob their HDMI cables from their TV.
Yeah, totally.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. They just like, oh, I have this in my house,
or they just go to
TV.
Best Buy or something, or they don't, or they just have it on hand, and they're like I'll just.
That's the thing. Even Best Buy HDMI cables are more flexible than a lot of the ones I see. Like and those are the cheapest ones you could just go and get quickly.
100%.
It genuinely feels like they've had this behind their TV for decades, and then they just pull it out for their Blackmagic rig. Like that's what it's. There's no thought about it. You know, it's just like, oh, this is a cable. This will work.
Personally, I feel like this is an F tier. Because it's still functional.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's completely functional.
It's one of the better gimbal rigs I've seen.
It's tight. It's like
you got 2 points. It would be very heavy and annoying to operate.
You could probably lean it against his chest or something.
Do your tuck in. It's not ideal, but it is.
It's also very compact, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Like I don't know, it's not bad.
And cable management isn't terrible, minus the clump of cable. Like it's really the biggest vice.
I agree. And they're powering. Hopefully, I think they're powering all of it off of this V mount, which makes sense.
And it looks like
they got 3, a plate.
And it's implied that there's 3 V mounts. Like you've
got, you're right. I think
because a lot of people just buy one.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't run out. But it's implied there that there's V3, which means
there's also I think there's another V mount on here because you can see this plate.
Oh yeah,
and there's a matching one on the other side.
So they could probably run for hours and hours.
Or something. Yeah. So I think not a bad rig. It looks a bit awkward, but
on the scale of Blackmagic, it's pretty F tier.
That's F tier. All right, we got 2
Ooh.
left. We're getting down to the wire here.
Oh no, we love you, Caden. Okay, this one's I think intentionally ironic. Like,
yeah, this one was just. I just knew you'd think this one was funny.
yeah, this is good. So
and also Caden knew it was funny too. That's why he posted it.
totally. So Caden kind of self-deprecated. He's a guy we know. Shout out to Caden. He
this is just a good photo, though.
It's a funny photo. It's just that's the thing. No one else includes themselves in their rig photos, and I think this is funny. And
yeah, more people should include themselves in their rig photos.
100%.
Then we can judge them and their rigs at the same time.
Totally.
We're like, is this person as dumb looking as their rig?
Yeah. It's like how like sometimes people compare like, oh, your dog looks like you know, like
right.
It's kind of the same thing. It's like, does your rig look as fucking stupid as you are? You know? But no, I mean, dibs to Caden. He's got a good monitor. He shoots good stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a good phone. And he's taking on the self-deprecation, which I think a lot more Blackmagic users, they need to be aware that they're bad.
Right.
You know, that their rigs are horrible. And not necessarily to their own fault. Like even a good Blackmagic rig is kind of shitty just by the nature of the camera. Like it's just how it is. So props to Caden.
Caden, you done good.
You done good.
Too bad we can't see your rig and judge you a little harsher.
But
as far as I can tell,
I think it's
you got it going on.
I'm gonna throw it just because of the
humorous nature of it.
The humorous nature. Let's put it in F tier.
I agree. I 100% agree. F tier, Caden.
F tier, Caden.
You made it.
There we go.
F tier is a good thing. You should take
Caden in this.
Maybe I'll do an excerpt and like
just send that
to him.
Yeah.
Or just be like, yo, you should watch this.
Yeah. Right to the end.
And then our final rig.
Oh, this is the best one yet. This is 100% F tier.
Right.
Just the camera.
I agree.
That's
this is the best form of a Blackmagic rig.
Honestly. And that's the thing is like this camera is supposed to, it's how it's supposed to work is you're supposed to put a lens on it and you're supposed to shoot like an SLR.
That's why it's so ugly.
That's why
I got a big grip.
Otherwise it would be a cube.
Yeah.
The major competitor I see for Blackmagic is Zcam.
Yeah.
And in this low tier kind of market.
Yeah.
And they're just so much easier to rig out because it's just a cube. It's just a box.
Yeah.
You got quarter 20s all over it. You put a cage on it. You can rig it out.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I think that's what people are missing with this. When they marketed the original Blackmagic Pocket, I remember I was going to buy one like way back when they originally started selling it.
Yeah.
And all of the marketing around it was of a dude or a chick holding it just like you would an SLR.
Right.
The idea was it was an SLR with RAW.
Yeah.
That was the point. It was like, I'm going to keep it in my pocket rig.
Yeah.
It literally, the original one, if you put a pancake lens on it, you could just pop it in your pocket.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was it was just like for travel stuff or shooting things like that. Like you're just running around and getting clips and I don't know.
It's meant to be consumer friendly. It's a consumer camera. People treat it. I mean, it is a highly capable camera.
It's like consumer on the edge of prosumer, and that's where I think people don't. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. No, I completely agree with everything.
And I think like this would be something that like if it didn't have such a bad rep that like actual cinematographer would take on a vacation. I would do that.
Lots of people use these as B cams for bigger cameras because you can get, quality raw that looks really nice in such a small package. Like it makes sense. It's a functional camera. It's just like
totally.
I don't know. I think the fact that it is in that prosumer, it's like just under prosumer. You get a lot of people who are like, it's a cinema camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whisper. It's a
cinema camera.
It's a cinema camera. Yeah.
I don't know if I have any sound effects that can go along with that.
It's a cinema camera. It's a cinema camera.
Hey! Cinema camera.
No,
anyway.
totally. This is the best one yet. I like this one. This one is F tier 100%.
Is there a tier lower than F tier? Because we could put it there.
Let's put it there. That is how the camera should be.
Doesn't even belong on this list.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
What a time.
This is the rankings. These are the all-time worst Blackmagic rigs in existence.
This is great.
I feel a little bad that Caden's on this list. He shouldn't be on the worst.
No,
rigs.
you should move.
He might be honored though to be on this list.
I don't know. I think he should move past F tier. I think he should.
You're right. There you go.
Bye, Caden. There you go.
All right, this is the all-time worst list. Send us your shitty Blackmagic rigs.
I don't want to see them.
Post them on the page.
Yeah.
But
But the condition is you have to overzealously defend them.
Right.
Yeah, that's
you have to explain why it's good.
Yes. Explain why it's good.
And then we can pick it apart.
Yep.
Terrible Blackmagic rigs. Put the link for the page in the description.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's it.
There we
Shae,
go.
you got anything you want to plug personally?
Shae
Shae Paterson is a great cinematographer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing really. I don't know. I feel like I've been on the podcast once already as like a more just about me. So
Right.
I don't know if it's necessary to
Right.
to
All
go
right.
on a rampart.
Well, then check out Terrible Blackmagic rigs.
Cool.
Let's end the podcast. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Next time, we're gonna be jumping off roofs and shit. We're gonna be shooting some travel vlogs in the dark, apparently. Let's do the flash.
It's
Wait.
I couldn't see. There's the strobe function.
There we go. Oh, fireworks. Faulty bulb. All right, players. That's it. I'm trying to get to the strobe. Oh, should I pass it again? Wait. Here. Wait. Pulsing strobe. There we go. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Sounds like Mike.
Holy fuck.
I think I'm gonna throw up.
Oh, my eyes. Like, just looking at your face, it's like spinning.
All right. How do I turn it on without that?
Don't turn it on again. I don't want to throw up. There we go.
All right. Anyway,
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
of course.
It was a good time.
That's it. That's the pod.
That's it.